Hello everyone and welcome back to the Styles UK YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and TikTok accounts. We are live across all 5 platforms today and it's the first Friday lunchtime live of 2025. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas and New Year break, and I hope even more that you're ready to smash your 2025 business goals. Now, Styles UK are of course here to help you through that in any way that we can. And we're kicking things off with a very exciting live today. Now, I've wanted to do this one for a while, so I'm really glad that we are actually going through all of the features of this beautiful machine right here today. So we are going to start the year as we mean to go on, right? So we're going to be talking about efficiency, we're going to be talking about accuracy, and we're going to be talking about business growth. Now, they're the 3 most important things that I think you should be thinking about for 2025 as a garment decorator. And yeah, we're going to cover all of those things today. So we get a lot of questions about the air fusion range of machines in general. Why should I get an air-powered machine? What's the benefit of having an air-powered heat press? So we're going to run you through all of those reasons today, and we'll also answer any questions you might have. So Beth is here with me today behind the camera. She's going to make sure that we get through every single question that you guys ask. So please pop them in the comments below as you're watching. And of course, as always, make sure to let us know who you are, where you're watching from, and your business name in the comments. We love to know who's joining us on these Friday lunchtime lives that we do every single week.
Let's do a couple of quick hellos to people that are joining us for the first live of 2025. So we've had Mrs. Natalie Jackson on Instagram. Hello to you. We've got Darren as usual. He's back with us on YouTube.
Oh, hello Darren. Happy New Year.
He said good morning from a very snowy Kansas.
Oh, it's not quite snowy here, but it is very icy. It kind of looks a bit white.
So let us know if you've got any questions, guys, whatsoever, and we'll do our best to answer them today.
Yeah. So to start with, if there's any new viewers watching with us, or perhaps you're watching this after the live event, we are Styles UK and we're the leading supplier and manufacturer of transfers and heat presses. So we're talking about obviously these Hotronics range of heat presses, the #1 heat presses in the world. And we also go live every single Friday at midday to talk all things presses, transfers, tips, tricks, hacks, literally anything you can think of when it comes to running a garment decoration business. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching, and come and join us every Friday because we like to have a bit of fun for an hour. End of the week, we talk all things printing, and yeah, we always have a great time. So make sure you subscribe and follow. Now, before we get started into the in-depth details of this machine, let's talk a little bit about what a heat press is. So if you're joining us for the first live of this year and you're thinking about getting started into the world of garment decoration, you might be thinking, Molly, what the hell is a heat press? Okay, so a heat press is the bread and butter of your business if you're a garment decorator. So it's going to be the thing that you print every single product on. It's going to be the thing you rely on, the first thing you turn on in the morning, the last thing you turn off before you leave. And you want a machine that's going to really help you grow your business and grow with your business as you go through the years. So this is kind of where I would normally say you don't need to buy like a cheaper import press. You can make sure you can still get a quality one at the beginning of your business, and that is true. We do have lots of videos on sort of entry-level presses. If that is where you're at with your journey, by all means head online, check out those machines, check out those previous lives. This one, as I said today, is the Air Fusion range. So this necessarily wouldn't always be the one I recommend for startups, but we always say that we try and give you the press that suits you and your business. So we don't just try and sell you the most expensive one because it benefits us, but at the same time, I'm not going to sell you like a lower down level press if you have the budget and you have the customer base for something like this Air Fusion IQ. So it all custom depends on where you are in your business and sort of how much you're going to be printing per day, to be honest with you. So why is it important to have a quality heat press? Like I said before, this is the piece of equipment that's going to produce your entire product range, whether that be apparel, whether it be accessories, shoes, hats, anything like that, you can print on a heat press. Even things like homewares, cushions, pillows, stuff like that. So you want something that you know is going to accurately print these garments. You don't want prints that are going to come off a few months after you give them to your customers or after they've been in the washing machine a few times. You also don't want a machine that's going to mark your products, for example, like if you can't accurately bring that press down and know the pressure, know that it's the right temperature, it's not scorching. You don't want to send a product to a customer that has a big heat press box on it that you can't get rid of. And lastly, you want to make sure that this heat press is going to be efficient and accurate for you. You don't want a press or a transfer product that you're going to have to fuse, peel, and then fuse again. If you're second pressing your transfers, people, you do not need to be. We can talk about that later. I'm not going to do a Molly rant quite this early on in the video.
First Molly rant of the season?
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So yeah, if you're second pressing your transfers, then you do not need to be. But also when it comes to the heat press, you want to make sure that it's as efficient as it can be. So for example, you need to pre-press all your garments, right? Why would you need to change the timer back and forth when you can get a heat press that has 2 timers in one? Or if we're talking about this heat press today, you can add up to 4 timers in this. You don't really need 4, but it's there if you want the option. So there's so many different things that we can talk about when it comes to having a press. But the main thing I want you to remember for today is you want a heat press you can rely on. You want a heat press that's going to grow with your business, and you want something that's going to be efficient and accurate when it comes to printing a wide range of products for your business. So any questions before we get started on the ramblings of what a heat press is that we've just been through?
So we had a comment come in on TikTok, which, to be honest, you did just answer. They mentioned that they would love a Hotronics, but unfortunately they don't have the budget for it right now. The price turned them off, but you have just answered that, that you should be starting your business with a quality machine for all of the reasons that you've just said.
Yeah, and like I said, we have such a wide range of presses, and later on in this video, I am going to get into sort of the pricing and how you can break that down to be a little bit more digestible for your business. Like for example, this heat press right here costs around 4,150, 4,450, depending on which stand you get. But this actual press part here is the same. Now, with the 5-year warranty you get on it, you could own this press from £2.27 per day. And this is not the entry level model. This is like 2 or 3 up from entry level. So it's not as expensive as you think it might be when you look at it the right way. Also, it comes down to, again, how many garments you're going to be printing. So you might think that you don't have the budget for it, but if you break down how many t-shirts or how many jobs you're going to have to do to pay off that press, it might be achievable for you in the first half of this year. It might even be something that you look at financing for a while. So we do offer the leasing options on our presses, and at the end of it, you do own the machine. It's not like a rental thing and you have to give it back to us. So you can break down the payoff of that press so that you don't have to outlay it all at one go. And cash is king, right? If you've got the money, keep it in the bank for your business. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. If not, pop another comment below and we'll help you out even more.
Cool. That's it for now.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about this heat press right here then. So the Hotronics Air Fusion IQ. This heat press comes in, I want to say 3 different versions, 4 technically if you class the different stands. So this is the single head Air Fusion IQ, obviously because it's got one workspace here. Now this comes on either a pedestal stand, which is what we have it on today. So it stands all the way up from the floor. It has the height adjustable movement on it. Similar to, for example, the auto open, it would fit on the same stand. You can also get this press as a tabletop. So it will literally come out the box, sit on your worktop surface area, and it's good to go. Both of these stand options have threadability as standard, which we'll get into a little bit more later on in the video. But I just wanted to highlight that initially because that's a really important feature of this machines as well as all the air power. Okay, so on first look at this machine, you'll notice that it doesn't have a handle. How many of you watching this have a handle on your heat press? I genuinely love to know that. Like, does everyone watching this have a handle on their press? This one does not, and there's a very good reason for that. These 2 blue buttons that you may or may not be able to see on the side here are what control this heat press. So if you just hold those in, it comes down, counts down, and then it automatically opens back up again. So the easiest thing about this press is that you don't have the manual side of pulling that press up and down, or pulling the clamshell down, for example. So first things first, it takes all of the strain out of the user that's operating this machine, minimal effort, okay? So that's just a first win. That's part of the reason that I really like using these machines when we've got a large volume of prints to do here. For example, we've got print run promotion coming up. We're going to have all of our staff in lovely printed uniforms. I'll be using this machine for that because I don't have to physically pull the handle down every time and it auto opens for me. The next one I want to mention is that there's no pressure dial on the top of this. Those of you that are familiar with Hotronics machines, you will notice that we normally always have like a black pressure dial on the top that we can twist to adjust the pressure. This does not have that. And the reason being is because there's an air compressor on the floor behind me that you may or may not be able to see. I think Instagram and TikTok probably can, but YouTube and Facebook maybe not.
You can see the start of it for YouTube and
This
Facebook.
thing right here is the air compressor, which is connected to the air fusion machine. So this automatically detects what pressure this press needs to come down to, and it will automatically adjust it. Now we do still have pressure readout on here. Fusion IQ control panel that you all know and are very used to at this point in time with our lives, and we'll delve into this in a bit more in a moment. But the main reason I'm mentioning this now is because we've got the pressure readout on here still as you would on any other machine. So you can go into here, you can increase or decrease it based on what pressure you need. So for example, I'm going to put it to 50 PSI, which is medium pressure, which would be a 5, for example, on a manual heat press. And when I then close this press down, it automatically sets the pressure to 50. Now, there's nothing under here at the moment. We're not heat printing a t-shirt, a hoodie, anything like that. So it's still at a pressure of 50 PSI. Now, normally, if we were to test our pressure on an auto open, for example, or even the manual Fusion IQ, that pressure would be a lot lighter because it's not adjusting to what's under the press, it's what you've set it to. And naturally, if you don't have those layers of garment and transfer under there, it is going to be a little bit lighter. This one detects whatever is under the bottom of this press and adjusts accordingly. So for example, if I was to place a pillow under there, you've all probably seen these before. These are the Styles heat printing pillows. If I was to place this on here, normally my first piece of advice when using accessories like heat print pillows or print perfect pads is to adjust and check your pressure before you bring that platen down. However, in this case, I am going to bring it back round. Those of you might have noticed I literally just used the foot pedal, one tiny tap, and that moved the press. Again, no manual labor needed. And if I press these buttons, it will come down and the pressure is automatically still on a 50 because this heat press will read and adjust what is under that machine and automatically adjust your pressure. I cannot stress enough how efficient this is, not to mention accurate as well. So like if you're printing on a t-shirt, for example, with say an ultra color transfer on here, and then you switch to a big bulky hoodie, you would normally have to like manually adjust your pressure to make sure you get the perfect amount, because sometimes you might be fusing at say the lighter end of medium on a Hotronics press, like a 4 maybe, if you want to try and avoid any like markings on the garment. If it's like a heavyweight hoodie, for example, it's a bit like plusher than a t-shirt. But with this machine, you just set it to what you want it to be, and whether it's a t-shirt or a hoodie, it's all the same. It literally makes no difference. Super easy for things like hoodies with like pockets on the front as well. You can of course change the patterns on this, but you could also just slip a pillow in and carry out that exact same fuse without having to worry about adjusting the pressure every time. So it's ridiculously accurate, this machine. It will automatically pick up what's under here, adjust the pressure accordingly, and then it will fuse at the same pressure every single time. So we are going to demonstrate that for you a bit later on in this video. Let's talk a little bit more about this control panel before we move on to threadability and the actual applications. So like I said before, Fusion IQ control panel, or the brain as we like to call it here at Styles UK. So this controls every single thing that you need to know for running your heat press, right? It's got digital readout for temperature at the top here, which is currently set to 145 because we're going to be doing our Ultra Color Max direct to film transfers today. Our pressure is set to 50 PSI, which is medium for any of our Hotronics air-powered machine users out there. And our custom timer, we've got the first one set to 5 seconds and the second one set to 12 seconds. 5 seconds for our pre-press, 12 seconds for our main press. Again, I don't have to edit it to 5 seconds, carry out the pre-press, and then when it's done, go back in, change it to 12, and then press again for the 12 second. It automatically knows what step you're on, it alternates, it changes for you so that you can be super, super efficient when it comes to your production process. The next thing that's really cool about this is that if you tap the library icon, you can get a list of all of the different recipes that you might need to use with this machine. So when you buy it, it comes preloaded with all of our heat transfer vinyl and all of our custom heat transfer settings, but you can also add your own. So you can add custom recipes into this. For example, if you have, let's take a jacket, for example, following up from our winter warm-up event, a lot of our customers are now branching out onto jackets and outerwear. There might be a particular recipe that you found for a particular jacket and a transfer that goes with it really well, but you might have found that, you know, it likes a very specific pressure, or it just needs, I don't know, with like a pillow or something, and you might have those settings for that particular product. You can save them and name them in here so that every time you use that product, you don't have to go back to, I don't know, a notepad where you've written it down. You can literally just hit it and be like, right, I'm good to go. Easy. Anything else about this control panel initially? I think I want to move on to like the statistics and stuff, but I think that's basically the front end of it. So when you hit the home button, it obviously brings you back to your like main control panel. When you purchase a Fusion IQ machine from Hotronics, so this goes from the manual Fusion IQ all the way up to the Pro Place, you will get access to the IQ Cloud. So this is where it stores all of your reportings. Now, with this heat press, it's very likely that you, the business owner, could be using it, or it's also quite possible that you've got a member of staff or an employee that's going to be using it. So you can control everything about this heat press from the cloud, whether that be locking in application settings so that the user can't cheat and knock off a few seconds to make the process quicker so they can go home earlier, which might lead to your transfers coming off later down the line because they haven't had their full dwell time. You can see reports on this machine as well. So if you have a particular bunch of garments that comes back from a customer and they go, oh, this isn't quite right, you can look back on your cloud software and see who was printing, what the settings were, time, temperature, pressure, everything for that particular run of garments. So you can pinpoint where that problem came from, and you can either solve it for the future and obviously then rectify the issue that stands at the moment. There's so many things you can do with this IQ Cloud. I could stand here all day talking about it, but if you want more information on that, do let us know in the comments and we can talk a bit more through it in another live. You're right there?
Yeah, do you want to catch up on some comments and questions?
Yeah,
so we've had Mel's popped up and said, I love these presses. This is next on my wish list. We have had a question.
Yep.
Can you press wood?
I have seen people press wood. I personally haven't.
I think with the right material you can, can't you?
Yeah, I would definitely be wary of like protecting your press when doing it. So like maybe use like a grip flex or something so that the wood doesn't mark the upper platen. But if you are going to do it, I probably would recommend it with an air-powered machine, because you won't be able to overpressure and break your press because it's going to be quite chunky, right? So it'll only come down as far as it needs to. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I think it all depends on your heat applied material. Speaking of protecting your upper platen, someone has commented and said, my machine seems to have some bad scratches on the top platen. Can we offer any advice?
If you have like transfer residue and stuff on there, we recommend just maybe getting like a t-shirt when it's a little bit warm and like rubbing it off slowly, maybe a little bit of warm soapy water if that doesn't work. But in terms of scratches, I'm not entirely sure there's much we can do about that. I can check with our technical support team, and if you leave a comment on like one of our reels or something, or send us a DM, we can get back to you on that, because we do have a team that looks after heat presses, tech support, heat press maintenance, all of that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Darren has popped up on YouTube and said, yes, you can press wood. I've also used mine for sublimation. Yeah.
There we go.
So it all depends on your heat applied material. He also said earlier, I think there's a benefit to having a press with a lever to learn what pressure feels like. But for the use of anyone else, the air models are amazing.
Yeah, I think it depends, doesn't it? Because if you have a manual press, then absolutely you need to know what that feels like. But like with this press, I don't need to know. It does it all for me. So I suppose it depends like where you're at in your business. But yeah, everyone has different requirements from their machines.
Oh, this is a great idea from Mel, actually, at Drumnagoric Design. She says, try an upper platen protector if you're worried about protecting your upper platen.
Yeah, as I say, obviously that won't help with the scratches that are already on there, but it will help protect against any future ones. And for those of you that have got a new press, or maybe you've had it for a while but there aren't any marks on it, maybe consider getting one just from a protection point of view.
Perfect. That's it for comments at the moment.
Lovely. Okay, so where are we at time-wise, Beth?
We are 20 minutes in.
Okay, cool. So I just want to talk a little bit about the auto open and swing aspect, and then we'll move on to some decoration, because I know that's why you're all here today. So you might have noticed earlier I was using the foot pedal that I have on the floor to control this press. So it swings out when I press it one way, and then it will swing back when I press it another way. Now, there are different settings that you can have this on. So obviously when I did the application on this and I sent it down, it will automatically come up, but I've got it set at the moment so that it doesn't swing away. So it will just come up, and then it's up to me to control where this press then goes, if I press the foot pedal or not. Now, when it comes to adjusting this, you can have it set to how it's set now, or you can adjust it so that it automatically comes up and swings away. So if I put this on now, it's on the 12-second timer, so we'll just wait that one out. Now it's counting down, so when this press comes up, it will automatically open, and then it will automatically move out the way. So if you are printing like a higher volume of garments and you don't want to have to be manually pressing that foot pedal every time, and you know that you literally, the second it comes up, you want to hot peel it and you're done, then that is a great setting to have it on. But obviously you can pick whatever you would rather for your business. And then when it's in this mode, to bring it back around, you just use the foot pedal exactly the same. The other aspect I wanted to talk a bit more about was that threadability. Now, of course, regardless of the stand option you choose for this machine, it comes with threadability as standard. So does the Dual Air Fusion, so does the ProPlace IQ Air Fusion. So there's so many great features to this machine, but I have to be honest, I think the pressure, the auto open and swing, and the threadability have to be my favorites, because how many times have we seen people that have threadable heat presses? Can we just take this into account, right?
Preparing you all for Molly rant number 1 of 2025.
If you have a heat press that has built-in threadability, why are you doing that? Just answer me that question. Just answer me that, would you? Because I would love to know. Like, does it save time? I don't think it does it? So what you need to be doing with built-in threadability is opening your garments. I can see Beth laughing at me.
Oh, sorry to Aaron on TikTok. We're not mic'd for TikTok, so for a minute there,
sorry guys, yeah, the compressor went a little bit loud.
We're back now.
we're back. We're good. So you want to be opening up your garment, whether that be a t-shirt, a hoodie, a jacket, a coat, even like cushions and stuff. Use accessories. Use the heat print pillows that we've got to isolate the areas if you're going to do that. But threading your garments on not only makes it so much easier, like you saw how quickly I just loaded that on there. That's so accurate. You can pull it all the way on to make sure it's straight. Oh, I've got this on backwards. Pull it off slightly, and you've got an isolated layer. Now, if you fuse onto 2 layers, it's going to affect your pressure. It's going to affect your finished result. It's just not best practice. Like if you are a professional heat printer, even if you're getting started as a heat printer, set those habits in early, people. Like we just make it best practice, okay? So when we bring that back round, the only part of this t-shirt that's going to be heat applied to is the part that we've got on that top platen. Now, like I said, both of these presses, tabletop or pedestal, Air Fusion IQs, come with threadability as standard. So you don't have to worry about getting an extra stand for it to work or anything like that, like you might have to do with the Max Clam or the Auto Open, for example. Okay, Molly rant over. Let's move on to, and the last part I just wanted to mention before we start fusing is the fact that the way this breast moves out the way gives you such a nice heat-free workspace area. Like I could literally stand here if I was printing like this and spend ages like laying out, for example, like letters if I was doing like a sports jersey or something. I do not have to worry about like how long I'm spending here because the platen's warm because the heat press has been on it, but like I haven't got heat on me from that top heated platen. It's fully out the way. The heat is going over there and I've got a completely heat-free workspace here to work with. So let's go on now to some applications. Now, the first thing I want to do is just show you like a standard t-shirt fuse, for example. So what we were doing initially, just separating out the layers, load it on, and then you can see from the threadability there, all of this excess hangs under here. The other thing that is great for threadability on t-shirts is all of the like shoulder seams and the collar line here just hangs off and there's no raised areas on this platen. If you've got a double layer of fabric on there, or you've got like, if you're fusing like this, for example, you're not only going to crush your collar and it's going to look really naff, but you're also going to pose an issue with pressure. Now, this press might auto adjust pressure, but it physically can't create a heat-free, create a flat surface area for you. You are going to have to manually do that, I'm afraid. If we invent a robot at some point that can create a nice flat surface area for you, we might be able to solve that one. But when you are printing, make sure that whatever is on this surface area is completely flat. So we're going to move the collar out the way. I'm just going to make sure this is straight because I can't have my first live print of 2025 be wonky because I'm doing it on an angle. So I have a feeling this press is going to have jumped to the main press. Yep, so I'm just going to bring it back to the pre-press because I'm actually fusing on the front now. Set to 145 degrees Celsius and a pressure of 52 PSI. Right.
What are we putting on it?
I want to use this one. So Beth has had some really cool transfer designs printed for us today. I love this one. So I've got a bit of blue and pink going on for this t-shirt. I'm going to find the middle and just give it a little mark, and then that way you can see where the center of your transfer should be. And I'm going to place it on my press. Now the rule of thumb tends to be, or the rule of 3 fingers technically, 3 fingers down from the neckline for your placement if it's like a generic front print.
The rule of fingers, sorry, I just got that.
That was so delayed.
That was good, well done.
I don't feel like it was because it took 10 seconds for you to realise. Okay, clocking 12-second countdown.
While it's fusing, do you want to answer a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Benny Shard says, when it comes to DTF transfers, do you recommend not tumble drying?
Do we? I would say we don't recommend tumble drying.
Yes, for all transfers in general, and it doesn't just apply to ours. Across the board, people tend not to tumble dry.
Not recommend.
Due to the extreme heats.
Yeah, so there you have it. Perfect fuse on that t-shirt.
It looks so good.
The detail on that is actually crazy. Like, look at that.
There's that.
Look at that. Can everyone on TikTok just see that?
It's a good view.
That is phenomenal. And that will stay on there. If I go like that, you can literally see, if I scratch that, there is like no way that's coming off. I don't recommend scratching as soon as you fuse, just FYI.
Give it time to cure, guys.
Give it 24 to 48 hours to set before you touch it, scratch it, wash it, anything like that. But just to prove a point, like we've just fused that and that's not going anywhere. So this press has given us a perfectly accurate fuse and it only took us 12 seconds. So that's very efficient.
Looks really good on the blue.
It does actually, doesn't it?
Mm.
Is it straight?
I think so. If it's not, we'll just pretend, guys.
Yeah, it's very straight.
Just tell her
very
it's straight. It's the
very
first one of 25.
First live fuse of the year. Okay, so that was with like just a plain t-shirt, for example. Now I want to show you the difference between a t-shirt and a hoodie. Now this hoodie does already have something on the back, so I'm just going to put a release paper over it, but I do want to put some other placements on this to show you. So for argument's sake, let's say we were putting this lever's print on here. I'm just going to cover it with a sheet of release paper so that we don't damage the transfer and so that we don't leave marks on the upper platen of this press. Now I'm just going to do it for like 5 seconds because it doesn't really need to be pressed, but I just want to show you, we've put like a thicker hoodie under here. So it's definitely going to be a noticeable difference in the pressure for the heat press, but I haven't changed anything. I've just swapped the garments over. I'm going to bring that down and it's reading at a 50 PSI. Literally changed nothing, and that press has automatically worked out that we've got a thicker garment under there and that it needed to lighten its pressure. So it did it all for us.
Do we supply the paper for the prints?
We do. It's called release paper. You can purchase it on styles.co.uk and it's available in A3 and A4, I believe.
Perfect.
Okay, so hoodie, no problem, not at all. Now, what if we wanted to do the front of this hoodie? Okay, we've got a pillow going, a pillow. We've got a pocket going on here, so we need to use a pillow is where I was going with that sentence. So same thing again, I'm going to thread it on like this. And as you can see, even if I pull this like thick collar seam off, we still have to contend with the pocket. So I'm going to take my pillow. Hopefully this one will be wide enough. And I'm just going to slip it under there. Now, as you can see from, oh, I don't know if you will be able to see this on camera actually.
I don't think you quite
But
can.
there is a significantly like raised area here from where the pillow and the platen like differ. So there is definitely a lot of extra thickness in there that the press is going to have to contend with.
Now, do you want this to be a wonky print?
Do I? Why?
Because it looks a bit wonky from my angle. Your shoulder seams look a bit...
Let's do it straight, shall we? Need to adjust the pillow, bear with me.
She's multitasking, guys.
Okay, right, there we go. That's better. Right, let's pre-press this. So again, I have not touched this press. I have not adjusted anything. I'm just gonna change it back to a 5-second timer. I didn't change the pressure, I promise.
Oh, this is a great comment from Benny's Yard. I love my auto open heat press. It's given me such creative freedom when trying out new designs. Thank God for stars with the top quality presses and transfers.
Screenshot that.
Quick.
Screenshot that comment. Thank you, Benny's Yard.
Benny's
We will be
Yard.
using that. I think I know who Benny's Yard is as well.
Yes,
yeah,
same.
I've been stalking your account recently and it's very cool. I might send you a DM after this actually because I've got a very cool idea I want to run by you.
We should do more together, Benny's Yard.
Yes, we should. Okay, so I'm going to apply a front print to this hoodie. So we're doing we're finishing off this levers hoodie. It was only partly done with the back print. So front print, we've copied like this varsity style font that a lot of the like retail stores and that are making front prints in now. So we're just going to use that. Going to make sure it's straight. Bear with me.
Does it fit on the pillow?
I don't think it does.
Oh, no. Do you want...
Do we have the bigger pillow?
Is it there? Or
No, I've only got the leg one. Actually, yeah, let's put the big pillow in there. Bear with us, everyone. We're just going to adjust. So for example, let me just quickly show you what I meant by that. So this transfer is a little bit too big for this pillow. As you can see here, we wouldn't get like complete accuracy where it sort of comes off the edges here. It would start to, the pressure wouldn't be accurate and it would move. Thank you. So we're going to swap it for this one, which is the big one, so that we can be 100% certain that it's going to isolate all the areas. Now, you might be thinking that before, when we used the smaller pillow, we were able to just isolate the area we wanted to print on. And is it going to make a difference now that this pillow is on the pocket, Molly, for the second time today, the pocket is now on the pillow, and it won't, because what will happen when that press comes down is it will push these seams into the pillow, creating that flat surface area that we want. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all nice and set. I'm just going to give it another pre-press because I want it to be even.
Oh, I think there's been a slight miscommunication with Darren on TikTok. He says, so when we get the paper to print, how do you make your designs and lettering? I wasn't talking about release paper.
Oh, okay. You were talking about
paper.
the carrier paper. So no, we don't sell that. But obviously we do manufacture the transfers. So all you have to do is go on to custom.styles.co.uk, upload your design, and we will literally do it all for you. You don't have to worry about getting the designs onto the paper and printing them. Just literally order your transfers and all you have to do is heat press them. It's super easy. Okay, let's try this again. So taking our front transfer. Now there is pillow everywhere here, so I'm not worried at all about this coming off. Just going to put this on here so that I can make sure to show you the hot peel because it's very satisfying.
I love that you're transforming an older levers hoodie, a pre-printed one, into a whole new garment right now.
Well, it's got a 25 on it, so it's still relevant for this year.
That's cool.
We can't put it to waste. It hasn't had its full potential yet for this year. So again, really quick fuse there, pull it off, and we can hot peel just like that. Nothing left on that carrier sheet.
She always throws it on the floor.
I know. Where else am I supposed to put it?
You could hand it to me.
Yeah, we'll just pick them all up at the end. It's fine. So there you have the front print. Everyone see that?
Yeah. You step back a bit. Yeah, that's it. Now we can see
Okay.
it all. Yeah.
There we go. So that is the front print complete. Now, I'm not going to stop there. We're also going to do a sleeve print as well. So I'm going to remove the big pillow and take the leg sleeve pillow that we have here. Now, if I...
Oh, Comfy and Cozy says nice and clean.
Nice and clean.
Yeah, as in like it's a nice clean peel. Looks good.
Clean print.
Yeah.
Fresh and clean. Isn't that a song?
It was a 2019 thing. Fresh and clean for 2019.
That's a rap song though, isn't it?
It's like a spoof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh and clean for 2025.
Okay. So I'm going to put my sleeve under here. Make sure it's all nice and flat. And the same thing, we do have technically 2 layers of fabric here, but because we've isolated that top layer, it's completely fine. So I'm just going to bring that back around like so.
Oh, of course. So fresh, so clean. Outcast.
That's the one. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes.
Okay. So pre-press that. And like I said, I just changed like the pillow I was using. So the surface area difference from the big pillow we were just using to this leg sleeve one is really, really different. So we didn't have to change anything. Pressure was perfect. And I'm just going to pop this on the sleeve, bring the press back round. Oh, I forgot to put my release paper on. Well, hopefully it doesn't peel for us and we can still do the hot peel.
You know it's going to peel for you.
I know. And we're still on 50 PSI, or like 51 technically, but I can live with that.
Oh, I've accidentally done that thing again where I've clicked a
Okay, I'm going to do this up close. Everyone ready?
filter on Instagram. There we go. We're back.
Love that. So if I remove my pillow from the sleeve, that sounded a bit Australian then. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. There you have, if I can get it straight, your finished sleeve print.
Yeah.
Okay. And you do want to use this center point of like the fold from where the hoodie sits. So like this fold here as the center point for where you put that design, because then that makes sure that it's on like the outer part of the arm like that. So there you have it. Not only have we got a back print, we've also fused the front and the sleeve using this machine with pillows, and there were literally no adjustments I needed to make. All I had to do was just isolate that area and carry out the exact same fuse. So that was super easy. Now let's show you the difference between, we've got a lower platen, Beth.
Would you like a 10 by 10?
Yeah, go for it. So the other thing I wanted to show everyone today was about how not only can you put other things in this press, like heat print pillows or print perfect pads, but if you also change the platen, which all Hotronix heat presses have interchangeable lower platens as standard, whether you get the Max Clam or the Pro Place IQ, you can lift these platens out of every single press like that. They all have the same mechanism on the bottom, that pin that you can see there. So you literally just plop it in, plop it out, and you can adjust it. So I'm just going to get a smaller one, bear with me.
For Essex banners on TikTok, if you want to pop us a DM, I can send you links to whatever you need.
Okay, so this is the smaller one, the 10 by 10, as you can see, and it's got the same pin mechanism on the bottom. So all I'm going to do is put this on there like that, and then bring that press back round. So we have taken the biggest heat press platen, or like size that we have, the 40 by 50, to the smallest, the 10 by 10. Now, if we were doing this on an auto open, on a manual fusion, on a Max Clam, we would 100% need to be adjusting our pressure, and probably quite a lot, to be fair, because that's a dramatic change in surface area that this heat press is now pressing it down onto. However, if I just push these buttons in, it's on 50. I've physically done nothing. And it's done it for me.
It's the lazy girl heat press, isn't it? It's great. That's what we should rebrand it.
The lazy girl heat press. I love it. So there you have it. That's literally, I don't know what else to say. This is just the best press in the world.
Live finished. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye. So say, for example, we were printing onto, I am going to put another print onto this, but just as an example for now, this is like a baby style tee. It's adults, but it's like kind of Y2K era. So it's cropped, it's quite small, and it's got these like seams where the color of fabric changes. So if I was to put this onto like even a sort of smaller platen, like a 28 by 38, I'd probably still have the problem of these seams right here. So in order to get a nice print surface area, I want to isolate it properly. So if I load this on here like that, I can just isolate that 10 by 10 area that I want to print onto and not have to worry about like the seam being in the way. That's actually quite a chunky seam when you touch it, like that's quite raised.
That would interfere with pressure significantly.
Definitely. Part of me wants to But I want to put something nice on this, so I won't.
Do you want to catch up on a couple of comments?
Yeah, go for it. I'll put do we have any questions about the platens, first of all, before I put the other one back on?
Nothing platen specific at this time.
Go for it.
So True Vibes Clothing says, just on a quick break, so I wanted to wish you all a happy new year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. We are so glad you're back for 2025.
Thank you. Then we've had another question come in and it says, do you do puff print heat transfers?
We do different like dimensional effects when it comes to heat transfer vinyl. There might be something coming in the pipeline, but I can't say too much on that. Just make sure to subscribe to our newsletter and you'll be the first to know.
Kind of starts to answer another question, which comes on TikTok from Comfy and Cozy, and they say, what styles focus this year? Anything exciting coming out?
We do, in fact, have
exciting things.
We have quite a few. I was trying to count on my hands then, but there's probably too many. We have got some brand new products coming, and I think we're going to be launching one of them at Printwear and Promotion. So if you're not already signed up to come to that show, definitely sign up and come and visit our stand. We've got some amazing offers on this year as well, but the new product launches are going to be insane. We've got some crazy stuff coming out this year.
True Vibes literally just commented as you were saying that, can't wait to see you at Printwear and Promotion this year. And then another comment that's come in again from Comfy and Cozy says, I do like how small that heat press footprint is in terms of the space it takes up.
It is. I mean, it's kind of similar to the manual fusion when you lock it into place and just use the swing, like not the drawer, because obviously that makes it a lot longer. But I do also think, I know technically, like when it swings back, it takes up more room, but the other one has like a larger, I think, foot space because it has to go on like an equipment cart. And then, yeah, this one literally just has the 4 feet at the bottom of it and then whatever space it takes to swing around. But for the efficiency, accuracy, the performance of this press, the size of it is actually tiny. Like it's really, really small.
Essex Banner says, are you at any exhibitions this year?
We are. So we are going to be at Printwear and Promotion at the end of February. We are also going to be hosting numerous events here at the Styles Innovation Centre throughout 2025, one of which I do believe is very soon after P&P. So make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. Make sure you're following us on socials because you guys will be the first to know about anything that we announce, whether it's new products, whether it's events, whether it's partnerships, collaborations, anything like that goes on socials, goes out on our email list. So they're the 2 places that you can be in the know.
Cool. That's it for now.
Amazing. I'm going to do one more application because I've got this t-shirt and a really cool transfer that Beth got me that I just want to do. So I'm going to put this t-shirt, I'm going to do it this way actually, on here. Now don't worry, I'm not going to press it without isolating the area. I'm going to take my pillow and I'm going to insert it into my t-shirt. I've just had a thought. I hope that the transfer is not too big for this pillow.
Yeah, it was quite a big one.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how we go. I'll put something else on it if not.
Benny's Yard says, I'm definitely coming along to Printwear and Promotion. Comfy and Cozy says, the podcast is good as always. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Has anyone listened to Marcia's episode yet? How amazing was Marcia on the podcast?
It came out on Monday, guys. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify,
It was
Apple.
It was I would say my favorite episode of the year. It's the only episode of the year so far, but it was really good. Okay, 5-second pre-press. So again, I've just isolated that area. Using the pillow, have had to make no other adjustments. Swing it away. Right, now let's see.
Oh, I hope it fits. If not, maybe you could chop something off it.
Where is it?
Oh, I don't know.
We've lost the transfer, people.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, phew.
It's just blending.
Whew, thank you. Okay, let's see if it fits. Yeah, that'll fit.
That's it.
So this is the really cool transfer that we've got to put on this baby tee. I love it. Skeleton playing the guitar. And it says, enjoy life. That's what we're going to do this year, guys. As well as being super printers and growing our businesses, we are also going to enjoy life because, you know, you only get one.
For Benny's Yard, yes, you can find Marcia's episode on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's like the 2nd or 3rd video, I think, on our channel.
It's got a purple cover.
Everything podcast related is purple, everyone. Okay, 12 seconds on the press. Again, no adjustments needed. Isolated the area. We're printing on a crop t-shirt that does not fit on this platen, so we haven't been able to thread it, but we have used a pillow to isolate the area, pull that carrier off, nothing left on that. And now I can take this t-shirt, I can get rid of the pillow, and there you have your finished print. That looks so good.
It does look cool.
Doesn't it?
I like it. It's
remove the pillow from the floor.
I feel like we should have done it on a black t-shirt because of the white text.
I think it kind of works though.
It's like a beige background, isn't it?
Because the I think the skull stands out more, the skeleton. I think if it was too black, he'd blend in a little bit.
Cool.
Like, I really like that. Amazing. Okay, so let's just recap on what we have done so far. So we've covered how this heat press makes you more efficient, more accurate. You do not have to change the pressure when it comes to swapping between garment types, accessories, anything like that. It's accurate because it automatically adjusts the pressure for you so that you do not make any mistakes whatsoever. So you're not going to be under pressuring by mistake and then having a load of transfers come back because they've come off after a few washes. You're not going to be over pressuring and scorching and ruining a load of garments before you even send them out. Every single press, providing you set it to the right settings at the beginning, so 40 to 60 PSI, is going to be perfectly accurate. Also, with the Fusion IQ control panel, you can control the temperature. And as always with all Hotronix machines, the heated platen in this is the best in the industry. It's got so many heating rods in this platen that it's accurate anywhere across that platen. So you could do a massive print in the middle or a teeny tiny one on the edge and it would apply perfectly every time. What else have we got going on about this press? There's so many things that you don't have to even think about. Like I said, threadability, it comes as standard, no need to buy any add-ons. The manual labor of pulling that handle down, taken away, you don't need to do that. Physically adjusting the pressure, don't need to do that. This heat press just literally has everything. If I was starting a business tomorrow and I had the budget for it, this is definitely the press I would get. Mainly because it just takes the guesswork out of it. It takes the thinking out of it. I don't have to remember my settings. It does all of that for me. And it auto opens and swings away as well. So you're never going to scorch anything or burn any of your garments. I mean, you guys know I love the auto open. I love the manual Fusion IQ. I really do. But I am lazy, okay? I'm lazy and I don't like having to physically adjust the pressure every time. You'll notice I try and print t-shirts in lives because I don't have to adjust the pressure every time because it stays the same. With this one, I've printed a hoodie, a crop top with seams and a normal t-shirt and a sleeve, and I have not had to make one adjustment. This is the kind of life I'm about, the easy girl heat press, or did you call it the lazy girl heat press?
But I'm going back on it because is it lazy if you're just working smart?
No, you are just super efficient and accurate. Yeah. And this is the kind of machine that, I mean, to be honest with you, all Hotronix machines will grow with your business. I would say from like the auto open to the ProPlace IQ, they will grow with your business, right? But this one, there's just something different about this one because it has those upgraded premium features that you want when you buy the auto open, right? So say you're starting your business, you buy the auto open, and you're like, oh, when I get to so many sales, I want to buy a press with air power. When I get to so many sales, I want an IQ control panel so I don't have to manually change the timer. This press has all of those things that people work for, okay? So this is definitely the heat press that is going to make your business soar in 2025. I'm so excited to see what all of you think. If you have got one of these, if you're thinking of getting one, do let us know in the comments what Hotronix heat press you currently have and if you have any sort of goals to upgrade this year, because we'd love to help you guys out with more content on this if you want it. Alternatively, if you're starting your business this year and you want more information about the sort of entry-level machines, the Max Clam, the Auto Open, let us know because we'll happily do another live on those machines and really give you sort of the down low on everything you need to know and why they are the best machines to get started with. The only other things I kind of wanted to talk about today were obviously signing up for events. Like I said earlier, we are going to do a lot of events here in the Heat Printing Innovation Centre. I'm so excited. The jacket event, the winter warm-up event that we did tail end of last year was so popular. This room was jam-packed and it has to be one of my favorite things that we do throughout the year, getting to see and meet all of you face to face and have those conversations that we're kind of having now, but we're not because I'm talking to a camera to you. So it's different when you're here in person with me and we can chat back and forth. So yeah, make sure you're signed up to our newsletters for that. Make sure you're following us on socials. We have also got some great YouTube videos coming this year, some really in-depth tutorials. We've got some really helpful ones that are going to help you grow your business and print on a variety of products. There's so much coming this year. I could honestly talk all afternoon about it, but do we have any closing comments? We have one final question. Does the press have a slide option or is it only swing? No, this one doesn't have a slide. This is only swing, which again keeps it to that smaller footprint. The manual Fusion IQ does have that swing element, but that again is also sorry?
The manual Fusion has the slide element, yeah.
Slide element, sorry, yes. Swing and slide. Swing and draw, technically. But yeah, this one does not. This one is the like static platen. But to be honest with you, it's got the heat-free workspace. It's got the threadability. It doesn't need it. It would just like create more space. It would just take up more space in your shop that you don't need it to be honest.
Perfect.
Any parting thoughts?
Parting thought from Comfy and Cozy. They've said the word is efficient, not lazy. So it's the efficient word. Love it.
I love that. Yeah. I mean,
Positive.
I said at the beginning, efficiency, accuracy, and business growth. Comment on any of our recent posts. I want to know what your business goals are for this year. And yeah, make sure you join us next week for another Friday Lunchtime Live. Thanks for joining, everyone.